Fóònù tí wọ́n ṣe.
Màá send it sí wọn. Okay, ó ti. Okay, ó yá.
Ẹ gbé kílẹ̀ sẹ́nu díẹ̀.
Dúdú ni.
Ọ̀tọ̀ nù kàá chili bí wọ́n ti gbá gira. Ìṣe wọ o.
While we are waiting. Okay.
Ẹ tọ́ kílẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín náà. Ẹ tán rẹ́ẹ̀dì. Yep.
Good evening. Welcome to Facts of Life with Abolitionists, where the truth is being said and told the way it is. I'm here with the fantastic, honorable, special guest of honor, Senator Ojeju Babafemi. He's a special advisor to the President of Political Affairs and also a governorship aspirant for Ekiti State. Our lovely senator here, I've known him for many years and he's a fantastic uncle. I'm glad to be here to interview him regarding what he's doing for Ekiti State and why he was to be the governor, and his political motivation, and so on and so forth. So we are going to just quickly briefly, because today the Ekiti State engineers are all here to support him for his governorship aspirant. So hopefully we'll know that by God's grace he will get it. So governor to be, let me put it that way, governor to be by God's grace. Because I'm not just saying this, I'm not supposed to be supporting. Some people will take offense that I'm supporting, but because I know he's a very amiable person and he has a very clean record to date. So, and I know his passion he's been on the movement like myself, human rights, for many, many years. And I would like you to talk to the masses why they should vote for you in Ekiti State.
Okay.
A little background of yourself, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm Senator Babafemi Ojeju. I come from Ado-Ekiti in Ekiti State. I'm the special advisor to the President of Political Matters. Prior to now, I was a senator of the Federal Republic. Prior to being senator, I was a journalist, in Lagos for 28 years. As you have earlier, said, I was a human rights activist, pro-democracy activist, and a journalist for good governance. And we fought, very hard against the military in the days of Abacha, Babangida, and all of those jackboots leaders then. And we paid a very big price for this. Between 93 and 1998, I was arrested and locked up for about 15 times. The longest of which was 9 months under Abacha. I was in detention till Abacha died, until Abiola died, and I was released sometimes in 1998. So that briefly is the background. I have a degree in English and a master's degree in political science, and I've been around for some time. It's my pleasure to be here with you and to be on this program. Well, election is coming up next year in Ekiti State. INEC has not declared campaign open, so to say I'm a candidate will be an illegality.
The support.
So, yes.
It's quite overwhelming.
Yes, I know. What I'm saying is that if INEC has not opened up campaign, you will be going against the rule to say that you are an aspirant or to say you are a candidate. But what we are saying is that there are problems that we need to solve in Ekiti. And we are going about sensitize people, all our indigenous, all our citizens across the country, back home in Nigeria, about the problems we are confronting and the need for all of us to come together to find solutions to those problems. And that's what we are going about to. And as soon as INEC gives the go-ahead, then we then decide whether to contest or not to contest. Thank you.
I think you're right, actually. I don't want people to think that our lovely senator is here
Jumping
the gun. But it's quite overwhelming to see a lot of people here today supporting the senator to become, part of the 2018 election coming up.
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, because a lot of people, like my previous colleague who has just left, was asking, why did you, decide that you feel this is a time for you to come out and say to the people of Ekiti State, I want to be, leading you positively.
Right. Yes, our people have a saying that Olowo kan láàrin gba òtòṣì, òtòṣì lòun náà. And each time I go back to Ekiti and I see poverty, I see diseases, I see frustration, I feel frustrated myself. You know, I feel very bad, very sad. I often leave Ekiti unhappy. And for me, you know, the problems confronting Ekiti is not a problem that requires nuclear science to solve. No, it's just about commitment, determination. You know, if a leader is focused and you set goals for yourself, you know, you can solve the problems of Ekiti. Ekiti is very compact, very small. From one end of Ekiti to the other end, you probably have to drive for about 1 hour. I've driven within London for almost 1.5 hours today. So that means London itself is bigger than Ekiti State. So the thing is that, you know, and our people are homogeneous. We speak the same language. And every town in Ekiti has Ekiti behind its name. So it's a place where you can actually experiment and make as example to the rest of the country. So, and the population, you know, it's just about 2 million, you know. So I believe that if we are determined and we come together as one, both, you know, people at home and those in diaspora, we can solve the problems. What are these problems? Problem of unemployment, you know, problem of dilapidation of infrastructures, you know, problem of, you know, not so quality education, you know, problems of diseases. We don't have good hospitals, you know, we don't have potable water, you know, the environment generally. And these are things we could solve. You know, you have people coming out of school, nobody's addressing the issue of what do they do when they come out of school. They don't have the quality education that can make them competitive, whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria. You have to address all of these issues. You have vast land, uncultivated, and people are hungry. You need to change their orientation and let them know that, look, you can't wake up as an adult, sit on your hand and be looking for manna from heaven. You know, whoever does not work does not eat. So you have to get people back to working. Majority of young people in Ekiti today are not working. You just see them walking around the street aimlessly and listlessly, doing nothing. You know, I think something went wrong along the line to our people. Our people are known to be hardworking. They are known to be committed to whatever they do. They are known not to be beggarly. You know, Ekitis are not known to be beggars. But over the years, our value system has changed. You know, and we've taught to something else. So you need a new leadership, a new orientation. You have to get people to work. As I said earlier on, the food market in Lagos, just some 3.5 hours to Ekiti, is about 5 billion per day. Wow. If you just take ₦1 billion of that 5 billion and provide, you know, vegetables, plantain, yam, rice, fruits, that is worth 1 billion per day, and service that market in Lagos, we will be rolling in wealth in Ekiti. You know, so we need to address ourselves to the fact that we are an agrarian society. Our society right now cannot support, you know, high-tech industries. Therefore, let's go back to town, to farm. Let's use all the available space to cultivate, you know, plantain, banana, rice, palm produce, you know, yam, cocoyam, and forestry. If we do that, there will be so much money coming to us to run our schools, to run our hospitals, to provide clean, you know, and potable water for our people. You know, if you go to the function of the state and look at the faces of these people, you see that they are deficient. You know, exactly. You know, you see a man of 45 looking like a man of 65. You know, because it's not taking in enough calories. You know, this is so because we've not given them enough relation to that land. Go on, tap your environment, and feed yourself with whatever you are able to produce. You know, a farmer is going to the farm, is holding a loaf of bread. Why do you go to the farm? You know, if you are going to be eating bread on the farm, you know, so there's a lot of problems there that needs to be solved, and that if we all come together, we want to tap the experience of people who are here in the diaspora, you know, add it to the experience of who are at home, and then we solve all these problems. Many of you, many of those who are here, we have to come back home and participate. I'm serious, you know. People have experience in how things are done in so many different ways, in healthcare, in service, provision. Let us find a way of bringing them back so that they can then influence those who are at home and get people organized into cooperatives, into doing things that will generate income. People are talking of IGR. Where do you get? How do you tax people who are doing nothing? What do you tax? What are you taxing?
I wanted to ask you, being the senator of Republic of Nigeria representing Ekiti State, people might ask, how are you able, with all the issues that is in Ekiti State, how were you able to implement? Because people would like to know more of the legality, the policies, the infrastructure, how you were trying to implement those laws in order not just for Ekiti State, but the whole of Nigeria. What was your role?
Well, unfortunately, when I was a senator, I was in the opposition. And in those days and times, you can only have your say. You will not have your way as an opposition. I talked, I shouted, I addressed press conferences, but again, you could only talk, you could only have your way. You could only have your say, you will not have your way. But having said that, people recognize that, you fought for the interest of your state, and there was a particular budget where they allocated billions of naira for roads construction in Ekiti State. And I look at the details and I find out that the roads, the so-called roads they want to construct in Ekiti State are in Kebbi, they are in Nasarawa and others. And I said, no, I will not take this. It's either you allocate money to Ekiti and the roads are in Ekiti. You can't do this kind of thing. And I stalled the process and make sure that was expunged from the budget. The role of the lawmaker actually is not about constructing road, building houses, providing water, or providing power. It's about representation. You call attention to the problems facing your constituency. Then you make sure that the right laws are made. But under the government of PDP, then we're just shouting. They were not listening, and that was why at the end of that 4 years they were thrown out. Of government. Now we're in government, we are trying to look at how the problems could be solved. And that's why, as an individual who comes from Ekiti, who also works within the presidency and knows all the programs that are available to our people, I'm not too happy that we are not taking benefit and advantage of some of the lofty ideas that the federal government is propagating.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Senator. Yes. I was also going to ask, regarding the special needs, things. What are the things that you've done in your community that would, when people say, okay, Senator Ojoju Babafemi is not just somebody who has been I've known you for as a human rights activist, but things that we can pinpoint. And the reason why those in the diaspora, the Ekitis in the diaspora can say, this is our man to lead us in 2018.
Okay. As a senator, one thing I recognized, again, which also derived from my own background, was that there are quite a lot of our mothers who are responsible for the education of their children, who do not have the capital to conduct their petty trading. What I did then was to identify 10 women per ward. There was 7 wards in my constituency. I organized them into cooperatives, and I made available to each of the women 25,000. So I gave 570 women 25,000 each to do their petty trading. I remember as growing up, my mother used to sell gari in the market, and the entire way then, I'm not sure, was up to 5 naira or 10 naira. Exactly. It is from all of that that we eat, that we ate, and that we were sent to school. So a woman who sells fish, vegetable, fruits, and whatever, if you give her 35,000 naira, if she's very prudent, she could be able to manage that and then provide for our children. That was that. We did that. We had a big ceremony where we did that. My wife bought a car for the 570 women, bought gele for them. We gave them that grant to do their business. That was one. I ensured that in some towns of my constituency, for example, Igbemo, Aramoko, Okemesi, I built town halls for them as senator. The town halls are still there. I did that. And I sponsored quite a lot of young people in school who were indigent and could not either in law school or in medical school or as a graduate, and I have records